Hello again, everyone. This is Joe, and in this weekend update, we're going to take a look at the S&P 500 daily and weekly charts, check in on the VIX. One of my indicators, the 52-week high-low on the New York Stock Exchange, and then see what's going on with CatBo. CatBo, that's Caterpillar and Boeing, and those were two stocks that really drove the Dow Industrials over the last year and actually 2 years even. We'll see what's happened to those two stocks, so stay tuned. All right, let's start off here with the S&P 500. You can see on Friday, very compressed. This is actually the most compressed day that we've had here on the S&P 500, actually on the Dow Industrials too, since all the way back here in January 23rd, very near the top there. But, you know, very compressed move, and this was on quadruple witching day. You know, it used to be triple witching until they came out with single stock futures. So what's quadruple witching? That's where the futures on stock indices, futures and options both expire, single stock futures expire, and equity options expire. They all expire, and this happens every March, June, September, and December. So a lot of volume, a lot of adjustments and things like that going on with all of the contracts, and with all of that happening on Friday, we just didn't get much movement at all, and we were down for the week. When you look at this, I'm still holding this wave 2, minute wave 2 pullback here. I think there's a high probability that that's it, and we'll watch and see if that holds, especially after that really nice potential little reversal candle here that seemed to have played out at least for the following 3 days. When we look at the weekly chart of the S&P, you can see it was down 34.5 points for the week. And that's after the big move that happened the previous week. So again, watching to see if we get some continuation. Looks a little bit like, you know, some consolidation on a pullback here, especially when you look at the weekly bars. Let's take a look at the VIX. The VIX on Friday was down 0.79, so we continue to kind of stall out over the last couple of weeks. We haven't got a single close above the 10-day moving, or 10-week. No, actually, this is a daily chart. We haven't gotten a single close above the 10-day moving average, exponential moving average in here over the last couple of weeks. Now, the interesting thing, what is this line? This is the highest close, 1604 for 2017. That's all she wrote last year. And we zoom back out, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, here's January all the way through the entire year, and we're still just kind of hanging right above that, about that high. We've had 4 days since the 1st of February that have closed below that level, and for the most part we've been up above there. So watching to see if this starts to we start to get a couple closes above the 10, then selling could start to kick in on this thing and be a reflection of that. Let's take a look at the high-low on the New York Stock Exchange. A couple of days now, we've been staying down below the zero line here, negative. 21 more stocks hit 52-week new lows than new highs for the day on Friday. So this is like a net figure. You net the 52-week highs against the 52-week lows, and you see how it's playing out. You can see how it got very negative in the sell-off back into the February 9th move, and then we've rallied very choppily in here, and so now we're on Friday we're negative, and so continue to watch this and see how it plays out. When I kind of shrink it down a little bit, it almost looks a little bit like, again, a reflection of this consolidation that's been going on after this huge move to the downside. Okay, that's the look at a couple of key indicators. Let's take a look at, well, let's start off with Cat, since I said CatBo. Let's start off with Caterpillar. Here's the daily chart with Cat, and right over here is the close for 2017. So as of right now, Cat is negative for the year. It closed 2017 at 157.58, and it closed Friday at 156.46. So slightly down for the year, and it's kind of been chopping sideways since that thrust down on February 9th. And when we look at the weekly chart of CAT, you can see just the kind of move that it's had in here. Now, this is a semi-log chart, and I like semi-log. That's my default scale that I use on all my charts just because it keeps everything in proportion, percentage-wise. If you've heard me, you've probably heard me talk about this before. 1 inch down here equals same percentage move as 1 inch up here. But sometimes the magnitude of what's going on really doesn't get reflected until you look at it on a semi-log and you can see, wow, it does look like this is going parabolic in here, okay? But when you convert this over to an arithmetic chart, and then you start to look at it and you say, wow, this is just, cat was just going straight up, okay? And so, nothing goes straight up forever. So it's just not surprising to see that we're starting to get this. And this is probably one of the most dramatic moves that we've seen in the last, 10 years. Okay, that happened in 2017. Started in 2016, but really 2017 was when it was going vertical. And when things start to go vertical, it becomes very easy for them to collapse right on back down on themselves because it's just too far, too fast. Let's take a look at Boeing. Let's take a look at the Boeing chart. Now, here, Boeing is a little stronger. Boeing has really been going to town here. The end of the year, Boeing closed at 294.91, and it closed Friday at 330.47. So it's up 12% for the year right now. At one point at the high close, it was up 23.6%, and that's just after 2 months of trading to be up almost 24%. That's just amazing, and that's just this move right here. Not counting the move that happened when we look at the weekly chart. And you can see, again, this is semi-log. You can see the kind of move that it's had, 2009, even looking back here, 2006, and especially when it started to break out into 2017. You can see why everybody started talking about Caterpillar and Boeing, especially in 2017. And again, if you convert this to an arithmetic chart, you'll see this thing has been going straight up. Okay, and and I'm not talking about Netflix this week, but Netflix is doing the same thing. So right now, watching to see just where this is going to have support, and see what happens with this right now. I'm going to convert this back to the semi-log because that's where I keep it, and let's look at back to the daily chart in here. We're starting to break some trend lines, short-term trend lines in here. And, potential support here at 320 where it got the support on February 9th. So again, watching to see how the support comes in, but this has had one heck of a run. Would not be surprised. Oh, I know there is one last thing I wanted to mention about this, and I forgot to mark it on the chart. And I will be talking about it in my post for this weekend. This is, right here, is the week of February 19th, okay? And I'm going to put that date on there. Why is that important? The week of February 19th is important because Boeing was on the cover of Bloomberg Businessweek magazine, and they had the picture of the CEO, and they said up, way up. And that was this week, the issue that came out dated February 19th. So here's this week, and literally this was Tuesday. Monday was a holiday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, following Monday, Tuesday. Here was the high close. So on February 27th, just a handful of days later, was the high close, all-time high close on Boeing. And we'll watch and see if that ends up being the all-time high close. Many times, this whole magazine cover type of phenomena is when, the media gets carried away and finally puts it on the cover of a magazine. Many times that is the kind of emotional peak that has happened in that particular stock, and we'll watch and see if that's what plays out with Boeing. Okay, that's it for this weekend. If you felt like the video was helpful, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscriber button so you get notifications of when new videos are coming out. And if you're not watching this on my website, which you're probably not, you might want to head on over to joehenches.net and check out the other posts and things I've got for you over there. Again, joehenches.net. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on the next video.